Hello everybody and welcome to yet another brand new Let's Play. This is of course one of those Let's Plays that was essentially a 2017 lineup video, and it will be that. So don't think this is just out of nowhere. This was coming for a very long time. And a very long time indeed. Real quick before we get started. Okay, fine. I just want to check my well, I can't really play online anymore because one, I'm not connected to the internet, and two, online is now gone. Oh, I guess I can't check anymore, huh? Well, unless I probably hopped on an Ethernet, I could probably find out. Alright, let's see here. New game. Keep the bonus treasures from the loaded game. Nah, we'll try to go find the ones we can. Do you guys want hard? I might not do crushing, because the crushing would just be more pain in the ass. Well, now that I suggest it... nah, fuck it. It's just, I just want to get through it. So... Let me make this very clear. At first, I didn't want to do this. For a while, I didn't want to do this. Not because like Uncharted 3 is a bad game. It's just that, well, one, I'd have to re-download the entire Uncharted collection. It'd take like hours to do, and it's like, why bother? I have to make space on my fucking, PlayStation, PS5 and all that, so that way I can actually run these games better. And then I have like all these other million of games that are downloaded currently, and I don't want to delete those, so it's like, I'll just, I just gave up, and I'm like, I'll just do the PS3 version, which is pretty obvious that I'm doing that. Yes, it'll have longer load times, but I don't care. This is the way I used to play back then, so we're just going to stick with the way that it was. But anyway, all of that being said, that does not necessarily contribute very much to exactly... Well, I mean, it contributes a little bit, but not fully to exactly why I didn't want to do this Let's Play. Part of the reason why I didn't want to do it, and again, don't get me wrong, Uncharted 3 is not a bad game. It doesn't have a bad campaign, it doesn't really have much of a bad story, and it doesn't have much of a bad... Oh, it has a fucking amazing multiplayer that is unfortunately now gone. Luckily, there's LAN Party, which is nice, but, still, like, that's... I'm glad that's there. I kind of wish there was bots, to be honest. I mean, that would make it 10 times more better. Like, I'm fine with losing, the multiplayer. I'm fucking sad, but I've grown up since then, and, I've moved on from the multiplayer, and I loved it back then. Loved Resistance 3, which, I mean, it's going to be talked about anyway. But all that, again, none of that's bad. Nothing has to do really with anything. The reason why is because this is a story-heavy game. And story-heavy games tend to kind of, well, back then, run pretty well enough on my channel because I could just, back in the day, I would just cut out my commentary on these cutscenes and let the game kind of play out. Well, now with the advent of me changing my style and just completely overhauling my sort of commentary style, I guess you could say, or just everything in general, things have changed. And I don't really care much to talk through cutscenes or not. Like, you guys have probably seen this stuff before a million times. It's a much older game. And, in all fairness, we got subtitles, so not a big deal. But the major thing that I have, again, is that it's a story... How about skip it? It's a story... Yeah, it's got a good score, that's for sure. It's a story-based game for the most part. This is a movie game, so like the cutscenes are going to be very movie-esque, and there will be plentiful of them. Not enough to say like, oh my god, this is a goddamn fucking like modern AAA Western title where it's just nothing but walk and talks the entire game. There's a couple, but well, no, there's a whole level based around that. But in all fairness, a lot of the action does make up for that, and that's what kind of made it to where I didn't really want to do it, because I like to play my games. I don't like to sit and watch them anymore. And don't get me wrong, again, growing up, when I bought this game back when it came out, well, it was the same year it came out. It was like late, like near Christmas, I think, when I got it back in 2011, because it was either this I pre-ordered or it was Resistance 3, and I decided to pre-order Resistance 3. I threw all of my dice, I guess you could say, on the chance and the hope that that game would be good. And because at the time I didn't really play Resistance, right? I don't know why I'm asking, but like I'm making a statement that I didn't really play Resistance back then. I didn't play 1 or 2 or any of them. I played a little bit of the PSP one, like a demo. But yeah, so I threw everything on that, and lo and behold, I came out to love it dearly. And then I was waiting in anticipation for Uncharted 3. I was waiting for it. Yes, I could have pre-ordered Uncharted 3, but I didn't. I waited like a few more months until after. Got some more shmoola and just bought it. You know, full price or whatever it was. Got the online pass. And the rest is basically history. Like, most people probably know me. You know, if you especially know me from back then, you might be, like, slightly familiar with, possibly familiar with the fact that I used to do Uncharted 3 content. Not, like, enough to say I was a huge Uncharted 3 commentator or anything like that. I just had a few videos of me doing, like, you know, the 5 Not Alive, which was basically 5 kills in a row on multiplayer. I used to upload a lot of those back then because it was cool. And I also had a few gameplay videos, which some of them are kind of privated now, but mainly because of them being cringe. But I used to do, you know, a couple of video series of it. I had a point in time where I played with my cousin on Uncharted 3 multiplayer. I think we did like some of the lab stuff, which... This is a campaign. I should probably talk about the campaign and not really the multiplayer stuff, but that was a big part of my of me growing up. Well, I say growing up, but I was like 17. Give or take. No, like 16, 17, I think it was, something like that. But it still felt like it was a big part of my history, my childhood, in some way, shape, or form. Even though I was young adult, but still, I say it counts. Uncharted 3 was there for me a lot back then. I played it to hell and back. Okay, that was weird. It was kind of out of sync. Something else I'm kind of worried about is the fact that my game might just eventually just explode out of nowhere. But hopefully it doesn't. If it does, then I'll just go get a save file on Uncharted 3's remastered version. We'll just play that instead. Which I think, honestly, the way that it should be for right now, I think it's... Because I did Bulletstorm Remastered, which is fine. I don't have a problem with that. But I feel like for Uncharted 3, I should probably, for what it's worth, maybe possibly do it from the console that I grew up playing it. So, going from Uncharted 2 to Uncharted 3 is a relatively big-ish leap, but also kind of a big case of going down as well. I don't think the story is nearly as like crazy good as Uncharted 2. Like, I still love Uncharted 2's campaign. I love Uncharted 2's just a lot of Uncharted 2's stuff, right? I like a lot of Uncharted 2. But that's not to say that Uncharted 3 doesn't have good set pieces, which, to be fair, Uncharted 3 definitely hammers it home when it comes to set pieces. The overall story itself is just okay, it's fine, it works for what it is, it's decent enough. I know I said it was good earlier, but like I mean to basically say, like, I like it enough to where it's like, yeah, it's fine. It's not as memorable, I feel, like as 2. It's definitely a bit better than 1, but I honestly believe that Uncharted 2 and 3 are all better than 1. But that's just because I've played 1 a lot, and 1's really archaic, which I don't mind archaic games. You know, DMC1, for example. I like that game. But Uncharted 1's just a little harder to get back into, to be fair. It's a lot more clunky. My clunky. Good night. But the thing that kind of went up from Uncharted 2 in this game is, in my opinion, the gameplay. I feel like the gameplay of the game definitely improved massively in terms of, like, combat. Well, anyway, over here real quick, I can't really see it. I don't remember exactly which one it was, but there's a little Easter egg hint. I think hints to Last of Us somewhere. I don't remember exactly where it was. Also, am I going for all the treasure? The answer is a flat no. Only unless something happens to the point where all of a sudden I do end up getting it. But anyway, so combat. What changed from Uncharted 2 to Uncharted 3? It looks roughly about the same. Nothing looks inherently new. Basically, you know, you just punch, counter, that sort of thing. Gunplay is roughly about the same too, so what's different? What's unique? Well, I'm glad you asked. If you noticed when I was in the bar beating up dudes, when I was beating them off, you know, beating them off me, of course, that's what I mean to say. I was able to grab, like, glass bottles and such, and the frying pan in the kitchen and all that. Well, that wasn't really much of a scripted sequence. That was more so like I put the enemy there, and if you press square around like an object, you can grab said object and smash enemy with said object. And that was one of the coolest parts of Uncharted 3 back then. That blew my little mind. And in my opinion, this is my least favorite of the villains of all of Uncharted. I just think she's really fucking... Well, you know what? I take that back. I actually hate Nardine a lot more than her. I despise Nardine a lot more than her. Nardine's just annoying. Marlowe is I mean, well, to be fair, she wasn't really much of a villain, I guess. Give or take, kind of. I don't know. It's been a while. Then there was that one dork from 4. Ralph? Rafe? What the fuck was his name? I felt like he was kind of as well. But I'm also not a big fan of Uncharted 4. And that's something I kind of should probably mention real quick, is don't expect anything past Uncharted content for me from here on out. This might be the last we ever get to really see of Uncharted.
You fool! Oh, you're bloody welcome, Your Majesty. Marlowe, we have to get you out of here. Oh, come on, they're a right pair of arseholes. What?
Speaking of Cutter, this is kind of a funny scenario. So, I'm not exactly 100% sure if this is where it came from, but my educated guessing determines that this is probably where it happened at. It'll be a future Let's Play. Hopefully. I'm hoping it will be one. I would like it to be one. I'll say that much. So in Jack X, there is an enemy racer that happens to go by the name Cutter. And so I find it interesting that they brought that name back for Uncharted 3. Speaking of Uncharted content, actually not even really like YouTube content, just Uncharted stuff in general. So, the Uncharted movie was coming out, and I was immediately just put off by it. I heard that as an action movie it was good. I never watched it, so my bias only goes as far as it goes, okay? I'm not going to say the movie's bad. I'm not going to say the movie's good. I've never seen the movie. I can't quote on what I haven't seen, in all fairness. I will say this, though. I think that the idea of an Uncharted movie is kind of weird, but also not a bad idea. Because, like, I guess it makes some sense. Because, I mean, why the hell not? I mean, granted, it's always been kind of a movie anyway. But the thing that's always kind of bugged me about these movie games is people that don't play the games just, well, they're not going to care after they've seen the movie. And that always kind of sucks when that happens. Also, there is, I think, 13 treasures hidden in this chapter. This is my least favorite chapter of all of Uncharted games. Minus Uncharted 4, just in total. No, just kidding. Yeah, this is probably my least favorite chapter of every Uncharted. Like, there's nothing, in my opinion, that can top this in terms of just, I don't want to play this shit. Although, I will be honest, there is that one section where we are running away. That's roughly pretty fun. I'm so fucking tired of walk and talk shit, but yeah, to be fair, this is just like the first of, well, not really the first of many, but definitely one of the pillars that help these damn movie games become what they are. I mean, I'm sure there were things before this, like Uncharted 1 and things before that. I just can't think of them off the top of my head that had walk and talk section. I'm sure there's some. But Uncharted was pretty big when it came to movie stuff. But anyway, so yeah, making an Uncharted movie and then having Tom Holland as flat out just Nathan Drake was kind of a weird decision. Like, I get that, you know, he likes the games. That's great. That's the same thing with Ryan Reynolds. Like, he loves Deadpool. And that's always nice to see somebody who actually appreciates where they get their ideas from. Being able to work on a thing that effectively is the thing they're making a thing of. So, Uncharted in this case. I just feel like the casting role was kind of weird, but then again, I didn't really see the movie, so I can't really say. And then plus, they just kind of added like all 4 games together. It looked like I only saw really the trailers, but I saw the plane thing from Uncharted 3. I saw the fucking ship thing from like Uncharted 4, I think. If I had to guess, it would probably be that from Uncharted 4, because I think ships, I think that one, unless maybe Uncharted 1, I don't know. And then Chloe's there, I guess, so I fucking don't know. I guess Elena's not there either. Which would be more of like an Uncharted 2 thing, because Elena's not really there much in Uncharted 2, to be fair. She is, just not until maybe like, what, halfway through or something like that? Give or take. But yeah, so again, I didn't see the movie. I heard people say like, oh, it's a good action movie, but it's not really good Uncharted. And that was the thing I was kind of worried about, is they're just going to fuck it up somehow. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. I'm sure someone's probably got some, you know, words of wisdom they could let me hear. Say like, nah, you're a fucking idiot, you know. Blah, blah, blah. Yada, yada, yada. Oh yeah, so basically for this part, you have to make sure that this man doesn't see us. Oh, anyway, I did want to say that unless they were doing it based on, like, Nathan Drake being young, I feel like Tom Holland is just kind of a weird version of Nathan Drake, and Mark Wahlberg should have been Nathan Drake. But if they're supposed to be like the young Drake, then fine. But Tom Holland just looks weird as, well, like I said, as Drake. Probably why he didn't care too much. Oh yeah, speaking of, I guess this is very topical in some way, shape, or form. I'm not going to spoil anything. Don't worry, I'm not going to spoil too much. I'm going to try not to spoil anything the best I can. So, Deadpool 3 came out a couple weeks ago, and I saw it last weekend, and I enjoyed it. To an extent. I do wish there was a bit more action and blood, but I think that's just more so like only a problem that I would come up with. And I really wouldn't even call it a problem. That's just something that I kind of wish would have happened. I wish there was a bit more. There was action, so like, you know, if you like Deadpool 2 and 1, you'll probably get your fill. I'm not saying like what I didn't get should affect anybody. This is just my own stupid bullshit. I mean, if you agree with me, you do. If you disagree, that's fine, of course, you know. I'm just saying that personally, I like my action, you know, and I kind of want to see a bit more of that. But then again, it could be a case of like, I only seen the movie once. Maybe I should watch those scenes again and maybe just, you know, like them better. But I think I have a problem with movies, to be fair. I think it's just a problem with movies to me. Because like, I've gotten so used to like how anime and video games are just so... I'm trying to go up. They're just so like ridiculously violent, and it just, you know, that's what I kind of wish that a lot of these movies would end up being, and then they're just not exactly that, and it just kind of fucks with me a bit. I guess one there's like something this way. Oh no. No, I just wasted my time. One thing about Uncharted 3 I can say, though, is like I hate climbing sections in video games, but I've always honestly not minded Uncharted climbing sections. But I think that's just because like Uncharted, it just works so well with it together, you know? I don't know. I feel like having God of War 4 climbing is fucking dog shit. And then God of War Ascension tried to do the Uncharted climbing, which, to be fair, and in its credibility, did an okay job. See, I'm a nice guy. Like, I used to think Ascension was kind of crap, and then I started thinking like, oh, it's not that bad. I don't mind. It's not that bad of a game. It's pretty alright. And now I'm back to just like, yeah, I fucking hate that game. But at the same time, it's got some decent stuff to it. It's got some stuff that I personally don't really care about, but yeah, that's mostly about it for that. God damn, there's so much. Yeah, there's like, I think 120, maybe like even, I know in Uncharted 4 there's like 200 some treasure now because they have those open world environments. And I should rephrase that. Not really open world, but more so like sandbox sections that you get. And I've never platinumed Uncharted 4. I have platinumed the first 3 games, just not that one. And I do have Golden Abyss, but never beat it. And in all fairness, I don't feel like having that game on my Vita because it takes up space. And I don't like wasting my space on my consoles if I'm not going to play a game much. Also, I think you can hold circle and you could just continue to fall down, which is very nice. Alright, just getting a peek at where he's pretty much at. For the most part, this older gentleman who we do not know the name of currently. Also, what's up with this guy? Oh. About Mr. Treasure. Good thing we fell back down there, huh? Anyway, so yeah, there's, I think, like 120 maybe, give or take. And I believe I might remember where the precursor orb was at. So, we'll find that. Fun fact, I actually played Uncharted before I played Jak. But I did play Crash before I played Uncharted or Jak, so, you know, there's that. So back then, when I played Uncharted, I'm like, what the fuck is precursor orb? I don't know what the fuck this is. And then, later on, my friend introduced me, not my friend on my YouTube channel. Technically, he's been on my YouTube channel before, but not in video. He's made a comment, like, a long time ago on some COD video. But, I haven't seen this friend in a very, very long time, but it was one of my school friends that kind of lived in the neighborhood as well, and he introduced me to Jak, and that's always been kind of like a funny story. I used to compare Jak and Ratchet a lot back then. I had like a huge problem with that. I used to, because I was a Ratchet fan before a Jak fan, and, well, the rest is kind of history with Jak, because I actually enjoyed Jak. I enjoyed the hell out of it. I enjoyed Jak so much that I loved Jak 2, and then I stopped liking Jak 2. And then all of a sudden, I loved it again. So, you know. That's how things kind of went with that.
Let's try that again. Let go of me. Yeah, that's what I thought. Now don't try to run. You're a long way from home, son.
Don't call me that.
Parents must be worried about you.
Yeah.
This guy seems kind of nice.
Okay, so subject.
Almost,
Nice living back there.
fatherly.
I don't know what you're talking about, man.
Hey, call me. Technique is really slow. The telegram only moves.
You're crazy.
Yeah? You've been tailing me all over town. Probably figured me for an easy mark.
What was I? Oh yeah, so Jak, yeah. Basically, I used to compare Jak and Ratchet gun-wise. I used to think, well, Ratchet has all these cool, quirky guns, and Jak doesn't. Jak is shit. And then, like, after...
They might wonder why a middle
Well, I mean, after a while, I started liking Jak 3 and Jak 2 and stuff. I was like, oh, the guns are cool, you know. I had a really shitty phase of, like, just
anyway.
shitting on the guns. It was just some fucking petty crap. You know how it is.
Kid. The what?
Had to try.
Of course you did.
Slick little bastard. Slick little bastard, ain't he?
Telegraphing all my moves, huh?
Yeah, what I wanted to say was, looking at it now, Sorry if I go quiet. You know, cutscenes kind of happen. It's for the best. I mean, I'll try to talk as much as I can. I don't like dead air as much as the next guy, but I feel like when it comes to cutscenes, like I think it's okay if we just kind of sit back and watch them, and not have me just ramble on about like prostates and prolapses the entire time. So I think it's, you know, fair game at that point. Is there a treasure in here? No. Again, I won't be going for all the treasure, but I'll at least try to look around for as much as I possibly can. Sorry about the frame rate doing its thing, and I am playing on the PS3, so you guys know how that goes. It's been a bit. Oh yeah, that's right, we go up here. I'm just making this harder on myself. This game's not open linear, but I mean, there's a few spots that I can say that kind of have that, give or take. Not much, but that's always the nice thing about these Uncharted games, that sometimes you could just... There might be another path you could probably take that might lend you to somewhere you might want to go. If I remember correctly, there should be a treasure around here somewhere. It might have been... There it is. I thought it might have been on the top of that roof thing, but there we go. But yeah, I was fucking stupid. And now it's like, now I understand how Jack 2 guns work, and it's like, oh my god. The only problem, though, of course, is, well, Jack 3 guns, they are good, and they are cool. Just one problem, though, is the fact that, well, they don't work in the same aggressive nature. You don't really benefit from them the same way that you do with Jack 2, so, yeah. Although I still like Jack 3 a lot. Jack 3's got a lot of good stuff going on with it, but I feel like Jack 3 is the Uncharted 3 of Uncharted, where, yeah, it's good. I love playing it. I like this game. But I still like 2 just maybe a bit better. Which is funny, because for a while I kept saying, well, you know, like a long time ago, it was always like Jack 1 was my favorite. Then it became like, oh, well, Jack 2's my favorite, because, like, the story is so good, you know? And then Jack 3 was, like, my favorite, because I was like, well, I fucking hate Jack 2 now, because it's so damn hard. But now I really appreciate Jack 2 for what it is, and it's like, god damn it. It make me fight over which one I like better. Although, to be fair, I don't really care much for Jack 1 as much as I did back then. It was still a decent game, but, you know. Ain't that my ring? It's still kind of weird seeing that. If this was like a different time era, I don't think anybody would care. Well, I think Sully would still care, but if this was a different time era, they've been like, yeah, you beat that little, you know, you beat the shit out of that kid. Nowadays, it's much different. Because even like back in my day, you know, it's starting to sound old. Yeah, we still got, you know, asses beat and all that. Not in that way. I'm just talking about, like, you know. Yeah, you know how it is. Ugh. Come on. Showing my age. I'm not that old, damn it. I still act relatively pretty young. I'm just still doing YouTube because... Not that I have nothing else to do, but I have things I want to finish before I part ways, I guess you could say. I don't want to make that sound sad. I'm not going to just give up YouTube forever. I'll probably come back every, like, once in a while, but I want to make it to a point where I finish up the 2017 project and I finish up, hopefully, like, maybe 100 finished Let's Plays. And, yeah. And then after that, I might maybe just be like, fudge, I might stream, or I might just do like a random Let's Play here and there. When it comes to streaming, though, I do get kind of a tad bit nervous. Thanks, old man. I mean, grown adult. Another thing that Uncharted did that I did not ever really notice until now, because nowadays it's way more fucking apparent that games do this shit. I never noticed, like, the yellow markings were dead giveaways for things that you should jump toward. Back when I was younger, I didn't think much of it, but now that I'm older, it's like, it's clearly obvious why these things are here. But yeah, this part of the game is, this sequence of this chapter is the best. And also, I think Chapter 2 might be the longest chapter, or maybe possibly the second longest chapter, give or take. I want to say, like, the next time we ever have, like, a super long chapter might be somewhere in the 20s. But anyway, talking about Let's Plays, just because I like talking about Let's Play stuff. Alley-oop, I like jumping there. I don't have to, but it makes it more fun. It makes it more seem like, you know, things are getting kind of wild. Not going that way. I know I mentioned I didn't really exactly want to do it, but there is a potential chance that maybe I might say I might do it.
Whoops. You all right?
Fucking Agent Smith coming here to kill me.
What are you shaking for?
Kind of half waiting for somebody to come up and just stab him in the back.
This won't hurt a bit.
Well, okay, I mean, that wasn't exactly a stab, but stabbed with a bullet, I guess you could say. Damn. And that's how Drake met Sully. Very wholesome. I actually like this. Relatively, quote-unquote, two bad people. Well, you know, thieves. I guess you could say. Getting together. Yeah, don't worry about Sully. He can just eat cigars. That's what he basically does anyway. He chows them down like they're goddamn fucking chow mein.
Thanks. But what's in it for you? I mean, you're a crook, right? You gotta have an end.
You are one piece of work, kid. What's your story anyway?
But the LP in question, I should say, I've thought a little bit about it. Not much, but just a little bit. Maybe Infamous 2 in the future? Maybe. I know I said I was not probably going to do that, but I don't know. Maybe. I do want to do Duke Nukem 3D and at least Doom. I want to show off, like, mainly the games that I like a lot and that I really want to show off, like, why I like them a lot. Bayonetta 1, Vanquish,
Well, not with this one.
you know, Duke Nukem 3D, like I said, and there's not really much else. RE4, yeah, that's a definite, like, I really want to do that one. I do want to do RE2, but I don't know. I like RE2, but if I don't play, like, old Resident Evil games for a while, I just kind of lose my ability to play, you know, old Resident Evil games, so.
It means greatness from small beginnings.
If I remember correctly, I think if you pre-order this game, you get the ring with it.
You see, Queen Elizabeth
And then I remember seeing, like, this really fucking dope Nathan Drake figure with him holding, like, that AK, like, the desert outfit of his. Which was always, like, a cool aspect of this game, was the whole desert situation. And fuck, I miss those days of, like, just early, like, 2009, 2010 gaming. 2011 gaming, I should say. 2009 to, like, 2011 had some pretty good shit. Although, let's back it up a little bit and say 2007 to, like, 2011. The reason being because Bioshock came out in 2007. Granted, it didn't come out until, you know, for PS3 until, like, 2008, but we don't talk about that now, do we?
look pretty friendly.
Anyway, I'm pretty sure I'm fired.
You know, I kind of thought that he was dating her, but I'm not sure if that's even the case.
That was no astronaut.
Also, another game, just mentioning it real quick, might not happen, but just mentioning it, maybe possibly Bioshock Infinite, maybe. But I also don't really like to cross over from like hardcore to here, but I do feel like Bioshock Infinite might be a good like send off for Bioshock stuff because, I mean, I don't like the story, but you know I like the gameplay, so it's not that playing it would be a bad thing to do. And when it comes to Doom, like I might just do Doom 1, maybe not Doom 2, because it might sound really, really stupid. I'm really bad at Doom 2. Like, when it comes to Doom 1, I, for the most part, know what I'm doing, but when it comes to, like, Doom 2 and Doom 3, I'm terrible, man. I suck at beating the Icon of Sin. I've never even beaten Doom 3, mainly because I just get kind of bored. Well, I get lost, and then I get bored, and I get pissed, and I'm like, whatever. But that's a me problem. That's not the game's problem. That's just me sucking dick. And of course, like I always say, not in a good way.
Okay. You got talent.
Thanks.
A lot to learn.
Yes.
Me and I'll teach you a few things.
Thanks. But I'm doing just fine on my own.
Yeah.
If you call getting shot at doing good, then
What do you say we try this again? My friends call me Sully.
see, the thing is, like, he says his name is Sully, right?
Drake, right? Okay. I see great things in our future, kid.
Does that possibly mean
Things.
that maybe his real name's not Sully the entire? Actually, I don't remember if that's even true. I don't know if he ever brought that up. Like, I know his name is Sullivan, but whether or not they actually, full on call him that or not, I'm not 100% sure. Alright.
All right, lads.
All that for a fun little play, huh? Pretty cool. Of course, for people that, know this game, that it's pretty damn obvious going back, being like, oh, there's Cutter.
You've got no sense of drama.
Now, granted, I will admit, I'm not the first person to really like Cutter as a new character. I think he's just kind of here to just be here.
I got a little swept up.
You were the one who said make it look realistic.
But it's still it's good time.
Sharp, they're coming your way. No losing.
I don't mind Cutter. I'm just saying that I feel like he's just kind of just inserted for.
How long do you reckon before they realize?
Well, then, I mean, to be fair,
Finally flushed them out.
he basically is inserted in this game for the game's sake. I mean, obviously. Because he's here for this heist, so why not? Wait, that was 2 chapters in a row. Also, I believe there's like 26 chapters total, maybe give or take. Sorry, probably a little less, maybe a little more. And this is a something that I'm not gonna say like doesn't happen often or ever again, but it is kind of a neat little quirk of Cutter that he is afraid of, or he's very claustrophobic. It kind of adds just a tiny bit, even though it doesn't really, it's not necessary, but it's one of those things that I kind of miss that Uncharted and, games would kind of do. Although, to be fair, like, they probably did that in 4, I just don't remember because I don't really care much for 4. And here comes one of the more annoying parts of this game. You climb all the way up here just for him to fucking knock it out. Now, granted, I think that he'll probably eventually do that anyway, but I think most of the time he just doesn't until you start climbing, I want to say, maybe, give or take. So, yeah. Also, it's crazy how much we've gotten done in 45 minutes. We've already started this chapter, and we're doing actually pretty well for ourselves. About to hit another cutscene again, which is annoying as fuck that these are going to happen. But it's a movie game, so it's got to happen. And then after this cutscene, I'll call it a video, and then we'll just start up another one, because why not? And look who it is. If it isn't Princess Anal herself. Speaking of anal, we have Prince Peg. That's what's up my bum. Chloe the other day.
Yeah, you did actually. It was very, very cathartic.
Weirdly enough, I can't remember which Chloe I always used to like better. I remember being pretty excited to see her in this game. I was like, oh wow, Chloe's back. That's cool. And, you know, because I did like her in 2, which, now that I think about it, I probably just liked her more in 2. Don't really care much for her in Lost Legacy, but that's just because I don't care about that game that much anyway. Anything like post Uncharted 3, I just don't really care much for. But that's just a me thing.
Yeah, fair enough. For any trouble, you shoot first and ask questions later, alright?
Yep. Which we should probably try not to shoot the best we can. But, you know, things can happen. Like we got all the boys here. We're about to do a mecha heist. Gotta get that slow walk to it. Get that trailer shot going. That demo shot, you know what I mean? Which reminds me, I don't know what the demo even was for this game. Oh, I think it was... No, there was a trailer for the boat part. The big ship part. And again, whenever I think of ships, I think of Uncharted 4, not 3, but... Yeah, spoiler alert, there is like a ship thing that we are on later. Sorry, just looking for treasure. I'm just looking for treasure! Looking for treasure so I can get back home and eat my craft dinner. Let's look for treasure, Philip. Hey, what are you two doing? We're looking for treasure. Terrence, Philip, I hate you. You're a dick, Scott. Now you're a dick. What are you doing? I'm wishing cancer upon you. Don't give me cancer. Shit's so fucking stupid. I love Terrence Phillips shit. I remember back when I was younger, I used to think, like, Terrence and Philip are so funny and cool, like, you know, I can technically watch them because they never cuss. And then I think somebody, I forgot who it was, it might have been my parents, I think, actually. They're like, oh, no, they do. Although, to be fair, I didn't really see the movie. So, I just kind of knew of them as, like, the characters that fart, you know? Oh, Philip! Just farted out of my eyes. Another thing I wouldn't mind doing in the future, I've thought about it, but we'll see, is doing a re-Let's Play of South Park Rally. I'm about to die. Yep. Yeah, this game doesn't have a health bar. It has a regenerative system, so you tank that hit, you're going down, buddy. But yes, there is a treasure back there, and I'm not sure. I think in this game, if you pick up treasure once, you basically already got it. So I could just, you know, quote unquote, flat out reset myself. Ooh, I just thought of this as well. Another thing I would like to do is Donkey Kong Country Returns, because I can't really do that 2-player. I mean, I can, but it's not worth it. It's just an idea. I'm just throwing out ideas. I should probably write these things down. I do have a few of them written down, but I think in particular, I think that's one of them. Would you just fucking open the door? Oh, never mind. I forgot I had to do... Oh. I forgot we gotta do it this way. We gotta do it the old-fashioned way. Because for some reason we can't unlock the door from the inside. Maybe the handle's broken or something, I don't know. You just now realize that? I know I said I was gonna end up after the cutscene, but we still have plenty of time. So let's just solve this puzzle real quick and then actually call it the video. Speaking of Deadpool, that's Deadpool's voice. That's Nolan North. Okay, so pretty much all I gotta do right here is just walk around, examine the tracks, and then eventually you'll find like a couple of tiles right here in front. Let me go check for some treasure real quick. It's gonna be like a running theme. Let's look for treasure. So basically, if you stand on one of these things, and then Nate kind of just is like, whoa, wait a minute. There's a thing to stand on. Like, oh, hey, Cutter, you know, stand on that side. And if you hold up, then you can kind of like zoom in. See if he finds out there's actually more than one. Yep, there we go, okay. Not really a hard puzzle, but I remember like back then it took me a while to figure this one out. And granted, if you do suck, they will give you hints, I think, after a while, so... You know, it's a good thing, conveniently enough, there's 4 of us. So no wonder Cutter was made for this game. So we can have an excuse to have 4 people.
Well, this has got to be it.
There we go. There you go. Pretty neat parlor trick, huh?
Like headlights.
Even though I was hitting both of them, but, you know. They probably don't count. Alright, into the London Underground, which was one of the best maps when it came to Uncharted 3 multiplayer. Like, holy shit. One of my favorite maps. Along with Airport.
We'll track the car. You head back to the van.
Try and stay in radio contact. I'll let you know when we get through to the other side, right?
And of course, we had a couple of good, you know, flashback maps from 2. Because 2 has some pretty good ones, like Museum. Well, Museum was just remade for Uncharted 3 multiplayer. I think they did bring back the old Museum. I might be wrong. Alright, anyway. So, that'll be it for this. I guess I can check my treasures real quick and find out how much I actually have. So we got like a 12 out of 100, so that's not too bad. I guess I've killed 15 enemies. Cool. Wait, oh, I did fail. You're right. Alright, anyway. So, that'll be it for this. Hope you guys enjoyed. And honestly, yeah, I'm actually having a good time. And that's what I was kind of worried about, was just getting all pissy and mad that I have to do this. But I'm having a good time doing it. So I think today was a good idea to do it on a fucking Tuesday night. But hey, you gotta get done at some point, right? But anyway, hope to see you guys next time. And as always, take care, everybody.